We are at the hospital because we are dealing with okay.
Do you tend to fall in love with somebody else? It's kind of difficult. Is it such thing as loving two people? I don't know.
Chris Brown is heated right now, and the internet can't stop talking about it. Word just broke that Karrueche Tran and Deion Sanders might have secretly tied the knot, and to make things even wilder, people are whispering that she's pregnant with twins. This isn't just a low-key family announcement, it's a straight-up bombshell that's got everybody glued to their phones like, wait, what just happened? Chris has been bitter ever since folks found out Karrueche was seeing Deion. He's been throwing shade, tossing subs, and acting like her happiness personally offends him. But now that there's talk of marriage and babies on the way, his frustration has blown up into a full-blown meltdown. It's messy, loud, and completely impossible to ignore. You already know one thing about Chris Brown, he will always find time out of his day to come for his exes. And right now, Karrueche seems to be right in his line of fire again. Even though they split ages ago, his recent behavior is screaming one thing: he's still not over her. Fans say he's been firing off subliminals online, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. People are watching his every move, waiting to see if he's about to go off the rails again. A few days ago, social media started buzzing with rumors that Karrueche and Deion secretly got married, and it didn't take long for receipts to start popping up. Folks spotted what looked like a sparkly red ring on her finger, and now the internet's convinced the deal is sealed. The story spread like wildfire, with everyone saying the couple kept their relationship under wraps until they made it official behind closed doors. But while fans are out here celebrating, there's one person who clearly isn't happy, and that's Chris Brown. Sources close to him say he's been spiraling ever since the news hit, feeling blindsided and emotional over Karrueche moving on for real this time. And as if that wasn't enough to twist the knife, another source came forward claiming she's actually pregnant with twins. Apparently, Karrueche and Deion decided it was time to start a family after his recent health scare. Remember that emotional video Deion posted opening up about his cancer battle? Karrueche was right there by his side through it all, not just as background support, but as his rock. Their bond grew even stronger after that tough chapter, and insiders say that's when they started planning their future together. Now, with the rumors of marriage and pregnancy spreading like wildfire, the world is watching every reaction, especially Chris's. People online are saying he's losing it over this one. And honestly, judging by his posts and the energy he's been putting out lately, they might be right. This story's just getting started, and the drama is already boiling over. You could feel the emotion pouring out of Karrueche when she broke down talking about Deion's health battle. She described how terrifying that whole journey was, and while Deion stayed calm and composed, Karrueche made it crystal clear. This wasn't just his fight, it was theirs. She stood right by him through it all, saying that when they walked into surgery, it wasn't him going under, it was them together. That's real ride or die energy right there. She wasn't just showing up for photo ops either. Karrueche was at every doctor's appointment, checking in with his trainer, handling calls, and doing everything she could to keep him grounded. She stepped into every possible supportive role like she was built for it. Most people take months, even years, to ease into that level of commitment. But for them, it went from low-key to life or death real fast. There was no soft launch here, no cute Instagram debut, just hospitals, prayers, and sleepless nights. It wasn't your typical love story, but it's one that clearly bonded them deep. And let's just say, they got really close after that ordeal, if you catch the hint, because Homegirl is now allegedly married and pregnant with twins. Fans are shook, but opinions are split. Some are cheering her on, while others are side-eyeing the situation because of Deion's messy track record with love. See, Deion's relationship history has always been wild. He divorced his first wife, Carolyn Chambers, after having 3 kids together, then moved on to Pilar Bigger Sanders, with whom he had 2 more children. But that relationship ended in pure chaos. Nasty court battles, accusations flying left and right, and years of fighting over custody. Deion didn't hold back either. He publicly painted Pilar as unstable, and it got ugly. Then came Tracy Edmonds, the powerhouse producer who had her own bag and her own fame. They were together for 7 years before Deion finally popped the question, only to call off the engagement in 2023 after more than a decade of being together. So when word broke that Karrueche was the new woman in his life, people were instantly skeptical. They said, "Girl, he's got a whole history of heartbreak. Protect your peace." But despite all that talk, fans couldn't deny one thing. Karrueche looked happy. So a lot of folks decided to just let her live her fairy tale in peace. Everyone, that is, except Chris Brown. From the very second the news hit, Chris has been in full meltdown mode, posting cryptic messages, deleting stuff, and allegedly trying to slide back into her life behind the scenes. Word on the streets is he's been chasing a reunion for a minute, thinking maybe he still had a shot, but now reality's smacking him in the face, because she's clearly done with that chapter. The man's still hung up on her like it's 2015 all over again. And honestly, the fact that he's even shocked says a lot, considering everything she went through during their time together. Remember, Karrueche and Chris first crossed paths back in 2011 when she was working in fashion and building her modeling career. They clicked instantly, started dating, and by March that same year, they went public. And that's when all the chaos began. It didn't take long before the cracks started to show between Chris and Karrueche, because not even a year into their relationship, Chris was already tangled back up with his ex, Rihanna. By early 2012, the two had rekindled their fiery romance, and poor Karrueche was caught right in the middle of the mess. She was getting dragged online by Rihanna's die-hard fan base, dealing with non-stop hate, and trying to hold it together while the world watched her relationship fall apart in real time. Eventually, Chris broke things off with Karrueche, but the way he did it had everybody giving him the side eye. He put out a statement saying, "I love Karrueche very much, but I don't want to see her hurt over my friendship with Rihanna. I'd rather be single, allowing us both to be happy in our own lives." Sounds respectful, right? But instead of quietly moving on, Chris turned around and dropped a whole promo video confessing he was in love with both Rihanna and Karrueche at the same time. Like, what kind of love triangle announcement was that? That was peak chaos, straight out of a soap opera. It was the ultimate "these women ain't loyal" moment, and fans couldn't believe how messy it had gotten. But by May 2013, things with Rihanna had fizzled out again, and just like clockwork, Chris came running right back to Karrueche. And the wildest part, she took him back without hesitation. Within weeks, they were living together again like nothing ever happened. But of course, the drama didn't stop there. It never does. Chris landed in rehab not long after, and rumors exploded that he hooked up with one of the staff members while he was supposed to be getting help. Then, he somehow ended up back in jail. Reports started flying that Karrueche finally reached her breaking point after catching him texting multiple women behind her back. It was the same story, different day, constant cheating, endless fights, and public humiliation. Their relationship ran in a full-blown loop. Karrueche would catch Chris being shady, they'd have explosive arguments, he'd jump online throwing subliminal shots at her, and then somehow, they'd patch things up again. It was toxic, dramatic, and exhausting to watch. But the real breaking point came when Karrueche found out Chris had cheated again, this time with model Nia Guzman. And it wasn't just another fling. She discovered he had a baby with her. And the worst part, she found out the same way the rest of the world did, online. Imagine scrolling your feed and seeing your boyfriend trending because he secretly fathered a child with someone else. She was done. Karrueche immediately took to Twitter and fired off a now iconic message. "Listen, one can only take so much. Best of luck to Chris and his family. No baby drama for me. Looks like I'm a single lady again." That tweet went viral instantly, and just like that, she finally walked away from the chaos for good. After that, Karrueche started to rebuild her life from the ground up. She focused on her acting, modeling, and bagging real deals, not just surviving off drama. She started dating again, showing the world she had truly moved on. But Chris, he couldn't handle it. Every time he saw her with another man, he lost it, acting jealous, dropping subliminals, and doing interviews trying to sound changed while still hung up on her. In 2015, he even sat down with Ryan Seacrest and claimed he was taking accountability for his mistakes and trying to grow. Meanwhile, Karrueche was out here doing interviews of her own, making it clear she wished him well, but she was done. Chris couldn't stand that she was thriving without him, and that jealousy just kept eating him up inside. The more she glowed up, the more he spiraled, and that tension has clearly never left him, even now. Chris Brown just couldn't let it go. He jumped online in full rant mode, blasting Karrueche for still mentioning him in interviews. He wrote, "Honestly, it's so pointless to keep doing interviews about me. Talk about your career. If there's no more relationship, then stop bringing me up. I won't let you get the pleasure of prying into my personal life. It's getting weak." That energy right there, straight bitter ex vibes. But Karrueche wasn't about to let him play victim again. Not this time. She clapped back hard, dropping one of the most iconic responses ever. She said, "They asked a question, and as a mature adult, I answered. I'm not gonna shy away from something that I lived through. I'm talking about my life and experiences. I'm not speaking on you or bashing you like I easily could. Don't be mad at me because our relationship ended due to your lack of loyalty. You know what's weak? You forcing yourself into my car, breaking my window, blowing up my phone, trying to shower me with gifts. Man up and change that nonsense in your life like I've told you several times." Whew, she lit him up. That clapback had the internet on fire. People were saying Karrueche finally gave him the read he deserved. Chris folded instantly after that. He went from defensive to apologetic in a heartbeat. Suddenly, he was pouring his heart out, posting, "I'm eternally thankful for you being a part of my life. I've learned so much from you. I wish you nothing but happiness and success at Karrueche. All I was doing was trying to fight for the woman I love. Thanks, I learned a lot." It was like he realized she was gone for real and was trying to clean up the mess publicly. But just when everyone thought maybe the drama would die down, things took a dark turn. Reports started surfacing that Chris had allegedly begun stalking Karrueche, monitoring her movements, showing up uninvited, and even threatening her and her loved ones. By 2017, she had finally had enough and went to court to request a restraining order. In court, Karrueche testified that Chris got violent after asking her to return diamond rings he had gifted her during their relationship. When she refused, he allegedly started sending threatening texts, messages that made people realize just how dangerous the situation had gotten. It wasn't just heartbreak anymore. It was pure toxicity spiraling out of control. The courtroom documents were shocking. Karrueche accused Chris of threatening to harm her, harassing her friends, and even saying he'd take her life if he couldn't have her. She said that around the second week of February, he told several people, "If no one else can have her, I'm going to take her out." That chilling statement sent waves through the internet. It showed just how extreme things had become behind the scenes. Karrueche also revealed that the abuse didn't start after the breakup. It had been happening while they were still together. She claimed Chris had punched her in the stomach twice and pushed her down the stairs. Even though she never filed a police report back then, the details she shared lined up with the pattern everyone already recognized, a cycle of anger, control, and violence that kept repeating itself. All of this reportedly happened while Chris was still on probation for his 2009 assault case involving Rihanna. Back then, he pled guilty to making criminal threats and felony assault, taking a plea deal to avoid jail time by completing community labor. By 2015, he had finally wrapped up that sentence, more than 1,000 hours of community service later. You'd think that would have taught him to stay in his lane and keep his temper in check, but clearly it didn't stick. Instead of learning from the past, it looked like he was repeating it. Different woman, same behavior, same chaos. Fans online were calling it out loud, saying, "This man never learns." It became obvious that Chris was stuck in a pattern of self-destruction, acting like he couldn't function without Karrueche's attention. Even after all the legal drama, court orders, and public humiliation, he still couldn't seem to let her go. It was like obsession disguised as love, a never-ending storm that kept dragging both of them back into the spotlight. Fans were left shaking their heads, saying this wasn't love anymore. It was a warning sign. The second Karrueche's 5-year restraining order against Chris expired, he jumped right back into obsession mode. He didn't waste a second, immediately tracking down every blog that posted about her, lurking in the comments, liking every new picture she uploaded like he was trying to send a message. Fans noticed instantly, calling him out for being on watch again. And when Karrueche posted some flawless photos last year, serving face, body, and peace, Chris couldn't help himself. He double-tapped that post fast, making sure everyone saw that he was still watching. It was giving still not over it energy all the way. But if there was ever real proof that Chris was still stuck on Karrueche, it came during his little feud with Quavo. Around the release of his 11:11 album, Chris decided to get slick with the lyrics, throwing shade like he couldn't help himself. On a track called Freak, he made it real clear he was salty that Quavo had once dated Karrueche. He rapped, "No messin' with my ex, ain't gon' make a sequel, Art 7-1942, cause I don't do no Quavo freaky. She like Ka Amigos, not the Migo." Everyone caught it immediately. The line was aimed straight at Quavo and the message was loud. He was pressed. But Chris didn't realize he had just poked the wrong bear. Quavo clapped back hard on his own track, Tender. He came straight for Chris's neck, mocking him for fumbling Karrueche and dragging him for his past. He rapped, "She's supposed to be with a thug, call it B-phone, she won't come home. Don't beat her up, must beat the drugs, need crosses, you plug." Then he went even further, saying, "Tell me, lil bro, what's your issue? What's your issue? It's over a thought? You said it's bigger than... Nah, it's not. You mad cause I be digging in that. Got him hot." Whew, he wasn't holding nothing back. That verse went viral instantly, with fans calling it one of the boldest clapbacks in recent rap beef history. Quavo basically said what a lot of people had been thinking for years, that Chris just couldn't let go and was still haunted by the fact that Karrueche moved on. He even shaded him as a cokehead and hinted that his temper issues were still out of control. It was brutal and the internet ate it up. But Chris wasn't done either. On that same album, he dropped another song called Residuals, and the lyrics were clearly about Karrueche again. He sang, "Was it on my mind? She's still on my mind. Did we build it up just to watch it wash away? Tell me, did you love me just to run away?" Fans instantly recognized the emotion behind those words. It was obvious he was still heartbroken, still reminiscing, and still struggling to let go. And the symbolism didn't stop there. Every time Chris performs that song live, he makes sure to rock a red bandana, either tying it around his mic or wearing it on stage. To casual fans, it might look like a simple accessory, but real ones know exactly what it means. That red bandana is a direct nod to Karrueche, a throwback to 2014 when she threw him a welcome home party after his release from jail. At that party, she blindfolded him with a red bandana before leading him into the surprise celebration. It was one of their few genuinely sweet moments before everything fell apart. So now, every time he performs with that bandana, fans say he's symbolically reliving that memory, holding on to the past like it's the only piece of her he's got left. People online have mixed feelings about it. Some think it's romantic in a tragic way. Others call it obsession on full display. But one thing's for sure, that bandana has become his silent message, his way of saying she's still in his head and probably always will be. It's wild. Years later, new music, new women, and Chris Brown still can't seem to leave Karrueche's name or memories out of his story. So yeah, Chris really put her through it. After all the heartbreak, drama, and years of chaos, Karrueche finally moved on. And not just with anybody, but with a man who's older, richer, and actually seems to love her back. And suddenly, that's when Chris decided he's got a problem. The minute he found out she was married and expecting twins, he completely crashed out. He started throwing slick shade online, posting cryptic little messages that fans instantly linked to her. One of them read, "It still pisses me off to this day. I'm a prey on it." Like, really? You had years to prey on it, and now that she's happy, you're losing it? The internet called him out right away, saying he was showing that classic bitter ex energy again, watching her live her best life while he's stuck in rewind. And just when it seemed like he couldn't get any messier, things got worse. According to an insider, Chris allegedly still wants Karrueche back. Badly. Word is, he even reached out to her directly, trying to see if they could work something out. But here's where it gets wild. He supposedly went as far as offering to help raise the twins. Like what? As if she'd actually take him back after everything she's been through. Fans were stunned, calling it next level desperate. It's giving full-on denial. Both of his famous exes, Rihanna and Karrueche, have clearly moved on, building real lives away from the chaos, and Chris just can't seem to handle it. It's like watching someone stuck in emotional quicksand. The more he struggles to control the narrative, the deeper he sinks into obsession. From stalking her online, dropping subliminals in his songs, to now allegedly offering to raise another man's kids just to get her attention, it's clear this man is spiraling. Fans are watching in real time saying Chris Brown has officially lost it. Because at this point, it's not even about love anymore. It's about control, ego, and the fact that he can't stand to see Karrueche winning without him. But now, everyone's asking the same thing. Will Karrueche even acknowledge him again? Or is she finally done for good, letting him watch from the sidelines while she lives the soft life he never gave her? So what do you think? Is Karrueche even considering his apology? Or is she shutting that door for good this time? Because one thing's clear, this feud is far from over. Chris looks like he's hanging by a thread, and if he keeps spiraling like this, things might blow up faster than anyone ever imagined. The tension's thick, the emotions are raw, and it feels like we're just one post, one lyric, or one outburst away from a full-on meltdown. The stage is already set, the players are in position, and the next chapter in this saga is guaranteed to be explosive. It's not just drama unfolding anymore, it's a full-blown spectacle, and nobody knows how wild it's about to get. Every move, every post, every word between these two is fueling the fire even more. So buckle up, because this ride's only getting bumpier from here. Tell me what you think. Is Chris gonna finally let go? Or will he crash trying to hold on to something that's long gone? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, share the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.